Hey everyone, it's Krystal here. It will be the death of your marriage if you're not healing it with this. And I guarantee you, I know it because I've seen it far too many times. Gone to couple counseling. It's not helping. It's triggering. You end up fighting afterwards. You've gone to therapy and maybe your therapist has fired you because you haven't made any progress. What a shame. Terrible. Especially because you're being proactive at wanting to get help and it's not working. Things aren't changing. You've read some incredible self-help books about marriage and they sound great, but you haven't been able to apply them and reap the benefits of those books. They could be life-changing and stimulating with the knowledge and information, but with your own self, you haven't been able to make those changes. So let me unpack what's actually behind the scenes and what you actually need to do so you don't kill your marriage. You don't kill it softly by not doing this. So you have good intentions. You want to heal your marriage. I get it. And I really commend you on wanting to take that path because it's possible. I can tell you from being with my husband for 19 years and being married for 8 years, there are incredible possibilities to heal your marriage, but you have to tap into the right support. And a lot of people are going about it backwards. You are killing your marriage by going to couples counseling because you're not getting the progressive effects that you're looking for. You're not getting the changes that you are wanting. It's the same over and over on repeat. You're still arguing when you get home, still having sexless nights, still bickering, still at odds with one another, and you haven't been able to change the connection between you two. See, the way that those other therapies or support systems work, working with your conscious mind, where you divulge all the problems that are going on, the evidence that you've brought in to show the counselor or the therapist why you feel this way, what's caused you to feel this way, what's created the damage in your marriage. But they don't know how to utilize that information to actually help you let go and release it from your mind, your body, to give you the changes that you need in order to reconnect in your marriage. And it's not that they have ill intents. They just don't know how to utilize that part of you that I'm going to share with you right now. So while they are working with your conscious thoughts, the evidence that you bring in, the conclusions that you've made, and how you're feeling, and they give you advice, they give you homework, they tell you some great things to apply, like keep your side of the street clean. You know, you need to do some meditations to get your emotions under control, your body. Maybe you should consider getting a divorce. It's not you. These things aren't actually helping us progress in our healing. In fact, they're just coping mechanisms that will help you get on by, good or bad, but it actually doesn't truly change the fundamental problem within the relationship. And so what you really need to do is consider this incredible option I'm presenting to you called the Emotional Detox Method. And what we actually do is, yes, we listen to your problems, we hear how it's affecting you, but we actually utilize the small little signals, the little hints, the cookie crumbs that your mind is leaving for us, because those are the things that we actually have to deep dive into to explore and investigate further to really bring your mind to an understanding, to help it find a solution that works for it, so it can then release those negative thoughts, let go of the hurt, and change those thoughts into better thinking patterns of how you want to think about your partner, how you want to think of the relationship, of yourself, how you want to feel, and make a new baseline for your mind. But if you're still operating from the same thoughts, the same emotions, the same way that you've been being, there's no opportunity for change. We actually have to think differently. That's how we change our results in our marriage and make progressive change in our lives for ourselves as individuals and as a couple. So what we work on is actually the thought patterns that you have. What you've made mean about those thought patterns about you, how it's probably affected you since childhood, because a lot of things that we bring into our marriage stemmed from childhood and play out really differently. There's also some traumatic events that have happened in your relationship. Maybe somebody stepped out of the marriage. Maybe there's been some addictions. Maybe there's been a lot of harsh, critical, hurtful words. Maybe somebody's bringing in some pain that they've experienced in a past relationship that they're still playing out now, some hesitation, some triggers. And that's what we actually need to work through so you can start feeling more real in your relationship, more like you. Those things don't bother you. They don't hinder you from connecting with your partner. And it starts directly with the thoughts that you're thinking. Because the thoughts that you think create a visceral, emotional effect in your body that does affect the body, that you do feel. Just like when you're thinking about a sad movie, you're watching a sad movie and something just strikes you in the movie and you start to well up with tears. You start to cry and you get really emotional. Or you see a love scene. People are just kissing and they're so deeply in love. And you can feel that. We work with those visceral effects that your thoughts create. And then what we do is we work at rewiring the mind by bringing an ability to the mind to process what hasn't been processed before and find new pathways for it to start thinking, to start acting from. And that then creates entirely different events in our lives because we are responding to life differently. We are thinking about life differently. We think about our partners, ourselves, our situations. We literally transmute everything in our relationship when we start to embody a different way of thinking. So we have to work at that on an unconscious level where you need to actually utilize people like myself who know how to tap into your unconscious mind, who know how to spot those unconscious moments within you. And we don't just deal with things consciously where you leave from the first session and you have to come back next week and keep coming back and you're there for an hour and you hope to get it all off your chest and go home with some relief. No, you start changing after the first session. Things happen rapidly in that first session. You actually can measure tangible results in that first session because it doesn't take years of therapy doing it through this emotional detox method way where we work through the emotions that create that sensation in your body stems from the thoughts. So you can actually maneuver life, respond to life, and be in your relationship being more secure, feeling completely like you, and actually making positive progress into healing your marriage. It's possible. And yes, I understand. A lot of people are going to say relations take two people. Absolutely does. But how are you responding to your relationship? See, because the moment you change your response to the relationship, then they no longer can respond in the same ways or anticipate you responding in those ways. And then they have to take a deep look at themselves. And that's what I mean, is that's how we start changing the landscape of our relationship, starting with ourselves. And this method can help you do that so you can get back to loving one another and creating the relationship that you want to in this time now. There's no better time than the present moment. So I encourage you to utilize this method. And if you want to learn more, get in touch with me. I'm offering complimentary calls so I can share this incredible advanced technology of healing, a wonderful modality of therapy with you that you absolutely need to utilize to actually make change. So yes, when you have changed yourself, couples counseling won't be as triggering. Or going to a marriage therapist with the both of you can actually make changes. You have to do it this way first. You have to work on your current state of thinking and the current state of emotional feelings that you have. And we have to transmute it on a deeper level, not just consciously, unconsciously, because we are operating 95% unconscious. They literally drive our behaviors, our attitudes, our choices that we make, our attitude toward life and our partner and ourselves. So why are we not utilizing that innate gift of ours to make the changes that we want in our relationship? I know it's not common, and I want to make it common out there, so you know what is available to you and that there are people out there that can help you with this. Because this is real healing. This is true healing. This is how you get your marriage back on track. I'm telling you from experience. I know that because I've done it. And Leon, I really appreciate you for taking this in and watching. I know you're doing the work and transmuting your own relationship in ways that feel good to you, so you and the missus can have a great connection. And I think that's what we all need to do, is realize that this is work to become the best version of ourselves, but also it doesn't have to take the usual pathways that really don't give us the results we're looking for. We need to change the way we're approaching this with this method so we can actually see tremendous change. Hope you're able to get some value out of that today. I'll see you soon.